All right, so it does say that we're live.
Hey, can you hear me right here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it clear, right?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah, you're
come.
clear. Loud and clear.
Come.
So, all right, so it does say that we're live. We're on.
Is someone checking the stream? Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm checking it right now. It does say that
Okay,
we're
no.
live. We're on.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so it says that we're good. All right, so first and foremost, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah.
YAHAWAH, Bashim, Yahushua, Shim is Hakadosh.
Of course, we want to give double honors unto our apostles and elders of great millstone who wrote well. And double salutation, of course, onto all of the sincere Akim, the elect, all right, that are scattered abroad. And, we're the brothers out in GMS Philly, aka Plain Tables. And we're just back at it again. And, through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of YAHAWASHI, we're just coming to do this lesson, New Year's Eve of Destruction, of course, annually. And we're just going to get right into it. I have basically the thought or meditation for this evening, which is a good idea of what to expect for this coming year is to look back at the previous one. And as brothers already know, 2024 was jam packed, full of judgments and all types of different events. And some of those things we're going to outline even in this month of December. Like, you had all types of things going on. I have some things kind of written down as notes. As far as the love of many waxing cold, more recently, and this is something that we covered even at the live camp, you had a delivery driver stab a pregnant woman over 14 times, right? And you have a lot of incidences that are very similar to that. That's not the only case of some sort of horrible violence that took place. You have plane crashes happening all over the world. One of the most recent one was in South Korea, and right now they're saying 179 are dead. Now you got to consider that Boeing within this year had an investigation for the amount of planes that ended up going down and crashing and killing people. It's like it's not even safe to travel at this point, So again, the sentiment is a good idea. What to expect for this year is to look back at the previous one. And so with numerous planes down, individuals, killing one another over the simplest of things. Israel dropped a bomb on Syria not too long ago that registered on the Richter scale, right? What they said was a small earthquake. That's just a forerunner for what is to come in 2025. Now, obviously, we're waiting to hear exactly what the elder apostle Tahar through the Spirit will coin this year to be. But we know that a lot of significant things happened here in the year of 2024. So that's our little introduction. If a brother wants to jump in, by all means, go ahead. Otherwise, we can start off with the first precept, unless, of course, the brother has one.
Yeah, I got a precept.
Okay, Con, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what we're going into in this topic, in this lesson, man.
Right.
That's what the prophets out here to do, man. To prophesy against, great kingdom. And America is a great kingdom, man. And we've been talking about the war, or the brother mentioned the war, the pestilences, and all the other events that's been taking place through the spirit.
Right.
Yahushua.
The brother mentioned pestilences. Like, you have so many different flu strains on the rise right now, whether it be bird flu or even just food poisoning. There's so many situations right now where people are getting literally sick just by simply going out and eating, getting food poisoning, right? And how many recalls in the year of 2024 has happened alone? whether it be E. coli, salmonella, etc. There's so many recalls that happened this year that, in my estimation, regardless of what Esau may put out in the medium, has accelerated. It has been a lot more in abundance this year than ever before. Even during the time of the pandemic, yeah, you had a lot of recalls, but it seems like it's been consistently even throughout after that moment where, like, there's just been nothing but recall after recall after recall after recall. I mean, you've had the most recent recall when it comes to eggs, Costco brands, the Kirkland brand, so-called egg, these cage-free or pasture raised eggs being contaminated or found to be contaminated, right? On top of different contamination when it comes to different birds, turkey, chicken, etc. Right? We've seen a lot of that where different food products have been recalled in abundance, in more so recently within the last few months coming into 2025. So it's like, if this is kind of how things have been headed for the last few months, we can already project where it's going here in the 2025, right? So all of these things essentially are going to accelerate. That's what's going to happen. Brother, if you have something to add or you have more to it, go ahead.
Yeah. I had a bunch of different recalls listed, even vehicles.
Brother, by all means, go ahead, go into
I'm
it.
gonna go through this. This is the top stories on Google. This is 4 hours ago. I'm just reading the headlines. It says Ford recalls nearly 300,000 F-Series trucks over defective fuel pumps. Then you have another one 14 hours ago. Onion recall as FDA issues warning over vegetables.
Damn.
And this is 1 day ago from Fox Business. Candy bars recall for undeclared tree nut allergen. So basically, America's being recalled, man.
Yep.
America's going out of business. And that word recall actually means to bring back to a former state, man. And that's what Israel's going to go back to. Just like the prophets asked the Lord, like, when will at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Yep.
So we getting ready to for that salvation and that glory, that was manifestation of YAHAWASHI's arrival, so we can go back to our former glory.
Yep.
Kanene Shalom to the Akim Wazakwanium on the comment board. Yeah. All right. Any more on the information, brother?
No, that's it.
Okay, Khan. All right. Anybody else got anything?
You got a quick.
You got to put. Okay, brother. By all means, go ahead. Go into it. Break it down.
Yeah, 2 Esdras 15, verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him. Therefore, delivereth he them unto death and destruction. So we know that Babylon, which is America, aka Babylon, sins has reached into the heavens. So death and destruction has been predestinated to hit this place, and we seeing the judgment come forth now, like the Zaquan was speaking about earlier. The pestilence, the earthquakes, the wars and rumors of wars, all those things were prophesied thousands of years ago to happen. And we witnessing it right now, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
That's right, man. Absolutely. If a brother can get shit, so like I look like it blanked out. I don't know if
It looked like it froze for a minute, but it looks like we're back. We're good.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, Satan must be fucking with it already. All right, let's go. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. And like I said, we're gonna read down Lord's will to about 3-4.
1 Thessalonians 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
Right. And this is kind of where the sentiment came when I said a good idea of what to expect this year is to look back at the previous one. If you've been paying attention to the times, you see a pattern where things are accelerating. Prophecy is being fulfilled. So nothing's going to be let up. Everything that we've seen and everything that, Lord's will, we may cover in this lesson is only going to be accelerated. It's only going to intensify on a much larger scale, because we understand that the time is very, very short. This is not going to be a long, drawn out thing, right? According to the prophecies, the Lord said he was going to shorten the time.
Yep.
So with that being said, all the things that we witnessed in 2024, expect in 2025, but on a much larger scale, and expect a lot more prophecies to be fulfilled. That can only be the expectation, right? Because we understand biblical prophecy. We understand that this is exactly what the Lord spoke about. We are living in the end times. We are literally seeing the prophecies of the end times being fulfilled right before our very eyes in various different ways. All right, whether it be the love of many waxing cold, whether it be just destruction and judgment in general, we're seeing it on a much larger scale than ever before, man.
Yep.
So, go ahead. Slide.
Verse 2, it says,
can I bring a precept out real quick?
By all means, go ahead.
Wrote Slakia. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Going into. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, it's literally 2nd Thessalonians 5:1, or 1st Thessalonians 5:1. The same topic that we're going into, precept upon precept.
Yeah, like it mentioned earthquakes. Now, first of all, brothers that we keeping up with the different events that happened within 2024, some unprecedented things happened. There was a earthquake, I think of the magnitude of 3 point or 4 point something that happened within the tri-state area. You had an earthquake that hit Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware, and New York. And it wasn't just one. The initial earthquake hit, and then you had the aftershock that they considered another earthquake, at least in New Jersey, where they counted and said, shit, that was the second earthquake.
Yep.
That's something that doesn't typically happen. That's very rare, right? So that was a sign. That was an indication that the Lord is definitely visiting the earth in which he made, just like the brother read. And there's many more signs, but just focusing on that one aspect alone when it comes to earthquakes.
Yep.
Personally, just to throw it out there, I've been living in New Jersey for the last 3 years. Out of those 3 years, this previous one is the only time I witnessed an earthquake. Now we have another brother that's been living in New Jersey way longer than me. The Zebulonite brother, Tazapad, right? He can attest, right? You don't have earthquakes like that, right? You're not going to have an earthquake like that. But the fact that you had that earthquake hit and happen within that tri-state area of Delaware, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania is a very significant happening, so to speak. That's something to seriously consider, because that's not a typical experience.
Yep.
If we were talking about LA, California, or the West in general, they have a significant amount of earthquakes, right? They have what they call earthquake season. It's the same thing with down south. They have a hurricane season. Yep. But even when you measure those earthquakes and you measure those storms coming out of the south, especially the southeast, we see a big uptick.
Yep.
So we can go back and we can actually go into all these different storms and see that there's been a massive rise in intensity when it comes to all these different events, letting us know that we are in those times in which our Lord spake through the Spirit.
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean, those got anything to add? Go ahead by all means, or we can continue on.
Yeah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna just finish the last verse. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Yep, and we see the end being made manifest because of all the signs that's being fulfilled in the earth and being done in the earth. Oh, you got it, Maya.
Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 2. It said, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come up upon them, as fell upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Damn.
Destruction come up upon them.
All right, Slakia, read that one more time.
Yeah, verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come up upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Right, and we're seeing a time where coming into this next presidency, there's all these promises being made, especially when it comes to keeping so-called America safe. Donald Trump just recently announced that on his first day in office, he is going to execute the largest deportation effort in American history. Now, there's a lot of things to be said there, a lot of speculation too to be made. But just to kind of keep it short, that is going to cause, in my estimation, in the spirit, a lot of uprising, right? Which is exactly what they want. They want order out of chaos, right? Because you have a lot of local representatives saying that we are a sanctuary city. We are not going to participate in a mass deportation. We will fight. So already before this man is even in office, there's a whole confliction of how to go about properly regulating immigration.
Yep.
He's saying we need to do a mass deportation, and then the sanctuary city representatives overseeing these sanctuary cities are saying we're not going to stand for that. We're going to intervene. We're going to do what we believe is a right and necessary step. And remember, a lot of this does not resonate with a lot of the populace because a lot of the people are under the perception, and rightfully so, that the economy is being affected due to illegal immigration. Right? This is only one aspect, but it is an important aspect to keep in mind that a lot of the destabilization we see in the country is due to this immigration and unsecured borders. And before this man is even in office, he's declaring that he's going to mass deport the illegals, while you have a lot of these different representatives saying, no, we're gonna fight for certain individuals to stay in this country. So you see the mass divide. There was already a mass divide in 2024 when it came to this topic. And before Trump gets in office, it's already accelerated in a major way. So we can see that this would be one major avenue, how it would affect a lot of parts of the economy, how it would affect people in just in general, like these different cities. Because if you have a lot of illegal immigrants occupying a certain city and the threat is that they're going to be deported, well, didn't we just see this so-called event just recently happen within New York with the so-called immigrant who set that woman on fire?
Oh, yeah.
So how many more events, technically, right, can we see where we have illegal immigrants under the threat of deportation that might act out as a threat to the American people. And I'm just throwing this out there. This is spiritual speculation, but you can see that this is a projection that we can anticipate based upon the policies that are going to happen in this next presidency and how it kind of clashes with the policies that are enacted right now. So,
precept.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and be one against his brother, and every against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You saw the scriptures say whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So these prophecies that's coming to pass gives us comfort and gives us hope that the scriptures are true. So when we see the politicians arguing with each other and to the point where they're about to bring out guns and start fighting each other, we sitting back and we feeling comfortable because we know that our Lord is on his way back, because these prophecies are fulfilling themselves before our eyes. And it's a beautiful thing, like I said earlier.
Yeah. We know that there's going to be sedition among men. So there's going to obviously be a major contention about how to move forward in this country. And then even when people think that there's a hope and that there's a way, when it doesn't pan out, what do you think is going to happen? There's going to be mass clash amongst the people, right? Because they're going to try to secure themselves. Like a large part of living and surviving is having food security, right? Having shelter. And when those basic needs are not met, what do you think is going to happen to the common folk in this country? They're going to fight. They're going to especially amongst these Edomites. Niggas, they lost in the sauce for the most part, man.
Yep.
Like you have some that are kind of on the bandwagon when it comes to, so-called freedom fighting. They militia minded or whatever. They stocking up on certain goods and everything else. But for the majority of our people, they lost. But when it comes to these Edomites, right, they're in the mindset of if they can't secure food, if they can't secure housing, if they can't secure certain basic necessities that was promised to them. Remember, we live in the so-called land of opportunity. Right? When all those things fail, what do you think they're going to resort to besides violence? So it's going to get very bad out here very quickly. It's not going to take much for it to go fucking bad.
Yeah.
Slacky.
Yeah, and if I could add, the foundation is very, very weak right now. So like it's really built on a very unstable, weak foundation. So when shit does hit the fan, man, it's gonna be bad across all realms of from basically like from the littlest thing or from the biggest thing happening, it's gonna have such dramatic repercussions and ramifications, just everything, right, to everyday life, to the way people react to it. I'm going to read some of these precepts because I was going to actually get one of these precepts, but I at least seen a brother left in the comment. This is Mark 3:25. So Shalom Dal Akim in their comment board putting out the scriptures. This is Mark 3:25. It says, "And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand." That's kind of going into what the brother was saying earlier. Like, there is a division. Now, a lot of this division is set up, that left wing, right wing, Democrat, Republican. That's all set up by Esau anyways, to have this illusion of choice and to bring really a divide amongst the different nations and amongst the people. Because you even had, I think there was a proof now that the FBI was in on that freaking storm the Capitol bullshit that happened or like that. How there was like legit basically FBI agents provoking it. I think there was a whole freaking thing on it. So you can see like a lot of that stuff is set up, that division, but nonetheless there is a division going on, right? You have people like literally to fight or kill somebody just because of their political views. So that shows you how finicky and how unstable everybody's mindset is. So when things really start popping off, man, there's gonna be all chaos, ensuing, which is what the elites really want any damn way. But it really, what they don't realize is that that's to their own demise. Like all this pandemonium, all this chaos, this is all prophesied by scriptures, which eventually is inevitably going to lead to ultimate destruction.
Can I bring our precept, or you still got more on that?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm gonna go read a couple of these precepts that the brother hitting on the comment board, just because they quick and powerful. His Amos 5:18 says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. For what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." That's the highlight in that part, right? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. It's very gloomy. All right, it's very serious. It's very evil. 2 Ezra 15:16 says, "For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes. In the course of their acts shall stand in their power." So you have a lot of people standing up against the governments, and it don't really matter who you are or what type of authority you have. These people are just going crazy. They don't even care about the repercussions of their actions. They're just fucking on thin ice and just killing. Just getting upset and then killing people. Road rage is an all-time high. So, so these people's minds are very brittle right now. They're on the point of breaking.
Right. And the word sedition means conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against authority of a state or monarch.
Yep.
So, yeah, that sedition is going to get heavier and heavier, where people are going to incite rebellion against their governments.
Yep.
And they try to use January 6th as a justification for saying that democracy was under attack and institute, certain measures against certain let's say familiar incidents that may happen in the future. But there's going to come a time where, because they've already more so recently admitted that you had a lot of Asian provocateurs responsible for those events. But there's going to come a time where people, the general populace is going to actually rise up against the government. They're going to actually come up and say, hey, you know what? We have the manpower. We have the arms. We have the skills. We have the artillery. We have the strategies. We're not going to take no fucking orders from these people. Right? So you're going to see in these end times where people are going to just disregard any of the leadership here in America, right, locally and otherwise.
Yep. Yeah, I got something if y'all got nothing.
Do we I'm slacky, brothers. I know I stepped out for a minute. Did we finish 1 Thessalonians chapter 5?
You say you read down to verse 3 or 4?
3 down to 4. Yeah.
We on 4 now. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that they should overtake you as a thief.
Exactly, because we, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, are fully aware of exactly what's going on. We are filtering all of the events that are happening and analyzing it through the scriptures, and then bringing to you the information, through the scriptures, so that you have a better understanding of exactly what's happening. We've been given the spirit to be able to assess those things. So we're not in that darkness. The rest of the people, like I stated a couple of weeks ago at camp, it's like people are seeing things and they're confused, they're concerned, they're worried, but they're not able to attach or tie these events to the scriptures. They're like thinking that these things are just happening without any real reason. And what they fail to understand is all of the things that they see before them is a direct result of biblical prophecy. And even if you explain it to them, most times they just reject it. They don't fully actually comprehend that, yeah, this is a result of biblical prophecy. You know? So read that one more time, Baba Kushad. We're not in darkness.
Yep.
We are not in a state where we can't actually identify what's happening, why it's happening, etc., etc., etc. We know the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Through the mercies of YAHAWASHI. So we can identify exactly why these things are going on. And we can, even in this lesson, what we're articulating mainly is expected increase. All of these things that you've seen, expect an increase. Expect things to get worse. Expect things to get more bitter. Expect things to get more violent. Expect biblical prophecy to accelerate. Expect the times to get even shorter.
If I could add,
Khan.
it's it's like a storm. Like they think that like the storm's almost over. They think that there's like the sun at the end of the storm. Like this storm has just begun. It's about to get really, really bad. It's about to get 100 times worse, especially for these people. Right, the only people that see light at the end of the tunnel is the Israel, the elect of Israel. Right, those that are watching the signs of the times. They're the only ones that really see that at the end of all this destruction and all this chaos and in this storm, that there will be light for the elect. But for the majority of the people, they're gonna there's this storm has just started, man, and it's gonna get way, way, way worse. So like you're saying, it's gonna be problem. It's not gonna get any better. That every year that goes by in the last 10 years, it's gotten progressively and significantly worse. Year after year, month after month, day after day, it's gotten significantly worse. To the minute, man. Every fucking minute is just, and it's good and it's beautiful for us because we just know that everything's aligning with prophecy. Nothing's going back in prophecy. All the way back from 2020 when the vid happened, that was all aligning with biblical prophecy all the way into now, how everything's aligning with biblical prophecy, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful how this is just the start of the end, the end times, and now we're approaching the very final end of the end times, right? Where it's really going to get bad. Like when it talks about how a time that's never been seen before in the time of Daniel, it's like we know that we're fast approaching that time. That's beautiful.
Yep.
But sorry, go ahead.
Can I get a quick precept? It says,
Go ahead. Quick.
3 verse 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not in the dark because the Lord revealed his secrets to us. So we know the playbook. So we see the play before it even come.
Yep.
But other people, 2/3 of our people in the heathen are in the dark. So when all these things are happening, they're going to look to the wizards to try to find out what's going on. But that's only going to lead them to their destruction. But the elect of Israel is going to take heed to the watchmen, which are the prophets who have the secrets of the YAHAWASHI, and we're going to be protected or enlightened, or we're going to be in the know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Back at 1 Thessalonians 5:4, it said, "But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief."
Damn.
Right, because we've been given a spirit to prepare for all of these things.
Light.
Secrets.
And like the brother just recently read, we've been put on to those secrets of YAHAWASHI, like what his desire is for this kingdom. We fully well understand that his desire is to destroy this place, and it's our objective to prepare and hopefully, will be delivered according to his mercy and grace. So as long as, we're doing what he requires of us, at the end of the day, it's all about election, we implement faith and works, but it's all according to the Lord's election. But we are not in darkness because clearly we understand what's going on. And when you compare it to the assessment of the modern day Christians or the world or anybody else, we see time and time again through our elder and apostles on down, we've been right. They've been right. We've been right. And we believe in the assessment of prophecy. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I've been in this thing for 15 years, and from what I've seen and from what I've believed, everything has been 100%, 200%. You know, if I want to just throw numbers out there, but what I've seen is everything has been on point since day one. Whether we're going to talk about what the end of the world really means, if we want to talk about the different famines, pestilence, plagues, everything's been on point. There's not one thing that hasn't been taught that isn't on point. It's been totally on point.
Yep.
And we are just kind of like carrying that torch, you know.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that's what we're doing as understudies. You know, we are carrying that torch, and we understand that everything that we've been taught is accurate in the spirit, and we've been through that same spirit, just kind of carrying it further as we've been learning and growing. And we see the trend, you know, like the whole thing is recognizing patterns. We see that America is in a state of ultimate decline. Who's going to deny that when you know everything that we know through the spirit? Like, there's no way that you can sit up here and say, no, America is just in a small little, you know, hiccup and it's going to, no, this place is through times. Yeah. It's done, man. Like that's it. We're at the end of the end, essentially. There's no bounce back. You could say that maybe 10 years ago. And, you know, maybe America. There's no fucking hope for this place. But we've already known that.
Yep. And the book of Malachi tells you that that though you build, I shall throw down. It says, I will build the desolate places. Like, this place is desolate. So the little bit that you build is going to be thrown down. That's say the scriptures. Let's say a prophecy. So, you know, there's literally no building this place back up, and it's in its fast and rapid decline. You're not going back to your former glory. As naive as some Edomites believe, you are not returning to your former glory. It's nothing but downhill from here.
Well, we can get Jeremiah 51 for that. 51 and right around 7. But yeah, that was it. We are not in that darkness. You know, the brothers that are listening to this, the few sisters that are listening to this, and you know, the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad, like, you fully understand that we're not concerned with so-called prosperity and, you know, how this so-called America will be you know, relevant and all that. Like we understand it's like literally bullshit. As a matter of fact, brother, get me Psalms 49:11 real quick. 49:11 real quick. We understand that, first of all, even if that was possible, like let's say hypothetically, it was possible for America to somehow have a bounce back and we would reach somewhat of a golden era.
Oh,
when you've understood the promises that have been made to us, why would you ever look on a kingdom that has only treated us terribly?
Yep.
Whether you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American man, woman, or child, we have been the most poorly treated. And it doesn't even matter if you have so-called opportunities afforded to you. We understand that we're under the curses. And when you apply all of that wisdom, we understand this is not for us. This kingdom is not for us in any way, shape, or form at all. At all. Oh. Even if you have a little bit of success, right? Like when people jump on the comment board, they actually believe that brothers here don't possess skills and talents and abilities. That's not the case.
Yeah.
We could have easily made so-called something of ourselves. Brothers possess ability beyond literally fucking comprehension. And they've sacrificed all that for the kingdom to come because they realize that this kingdom is literally wicked. The Most High is not with it, and it's ultimately going to be destroyed. Go ahead.
Psalms 49, verse 11, it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Looks like you broke up. Slakia. You broke up there for a second.
Psalms 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
Yeah, that's what the Edomites' inward thought is.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they make all these projections of what they're going to do years in advance, right? They're going to do all of these things, whether it's technological, you know, societal. They're going to make all these advancements. And the Lord is saying, that's what you think you're going to do. But in reality, that's just a thought. And you're going to ultimately be brought down. You're not going to actually carry what you think is your fulfillment in full capacity. It's not going to happen. Right? And that's reality, you know, whether you believe it or not. And a lot of our people have likened themselves onto the mindset of an Edomite where they actually follow suit. They think that, okay, this is the next level of improvement. This is the next way where we're going to actually be able to evolve. No. Scriptures say that although hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Both shall be thrust through. Meaning the wicked among our people, the heathen and Edomites, they're both going to collectively be fucking destroyed, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
And their dwelling places to continue to all generations. And their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names.
Right. And we know since this man has, you know, came over to this side of the world, you know, he's been naming lands after himself, whether it be, you know, America Vespucci, you know, and then the individual states, even amongst America, you know, you have Pennsylvania, right, which is where most of us brothers are based at, you know, after William Penn. Those are all Edomites. So we know that this is definitely talking about Esau, Edom. This is a prophecy that deals with Esau, Edom, that he names, okay, lands that he's conquered after himself, which is a true indication of who we're dealing with right now. And he's not going to continue the way that he has. He has a limit. The Lord set his bounds that he should not pass. Get Job real quick. 14:5.
It says Job 14, verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined.
His days are determined. Like the Most High already said that this man is going to fulfill a certain amount of evil and wickedness, and he's going to conquer a certain amount, and then he's going to do a certain amount of things. He's going to enact a certain amount of policies. And once he fulfills that, that's his end. Go ahead.
The number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
His bounds are set. He cannot pass. If his bounds are set that he cannot pass, what does that mean? He's ultimately going to come to an end. He's not the man that's going to rule for generation after generation after generation. It's not his kingdom that's going to preside over the earth forevermore. Is that he's been established for a certain amount of time, for a very specified period, for a very particular purpose. And then after that purpose is fulfilled, he's going to go down, man. And that's the end of these Edomites in all heathen nations. We can move on.
You want Jeremiah 51:7?
Yeah, go ahead.
It says Jeremiah 51, verse 7. It says Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Right. This Babylon is not talking about ancient Babylon, okay, located in the region of Iraq. It's talking about Mystery Babylon the Great, aka modern day Babylon. Okay, aka America. The word Babylon, going back to the Hebrew Babal, means confusion. All right, this is dealing with America. Go ahead.
That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
The wine is her philosophies. Okay, her beliefs, her customs, her ways. That's what's made the nations mad. All right. Can you, Baba Kushad, just go ahead into that word mad?
John, Jeremiah 51 verse. Gotta get the blue letter real quick. Shalakia.
No, you're good.
Damn, this shit crazy.
It's a H 1984 a law to shine, to boast, make boast, to be praised, to be made praiseworthy, be commended, be worthy of praise.
To be commended, because remember, these nations that took on the way of the West, they eventually get praise, right? They get glory. They get benefits. They get recognition. That's what happens. Therefore, the nations are mad. They get recognition, they get glory. But in essence, what happens to these nations? They deteriorate.
Yep.
They decline. They become weak. They become no more than a utensil for the West.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's economically or militarily, you become a pawn of the West. Go ahead, because I want the last definition, but you can go on.
Yeah, it's to act madly, to act like a madman.
To act madly, act like a madman.
It's like, can I bring this out in the etymology for the word mad?
Go ahead.
Now, this is the etymology what the brother's going into. You know, because like the brother said, these nations actually on the decline, and they don't know it now, but they following after the damn devil, man. You know,
Right.
so this is what happens to them. You know, it says mad. It says disordered in intellect, demented, crazy, insane, out of one's mind. And that's what happens to these people. They lose their mind, man, because they're following after who? The damn devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because they follow his ways, his philosophies, and his way of life, you know, which is wickedness, man. You know, you got these nations, you know, they'll follow after his adultery. They'll become sodomites. You know, their women is out of order. You know what I'm saying? Etc. Because of you following after the madman, the real madman. You know, the so-called white man. You know, the one that's really out of his mind. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
because they stop following the law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father, man. That's why they disordered in their intellect, because they don't know right from wrong, because all they know is wickedness. You know, and like the bro was going into, they benefit from it, but really, are they benefiting? Because the Lord's going to destroy their ass. You know, and then we're going to see when that judgment comes.
Exactly. Yep. Con. Yep. Perfect. Moving on.
Verse 7, it said, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Damn.
How for her? Take bomb for her pain.
That was beautiful, man. You gotta read that again, man.
Jeremiah 1 verse 8. Babylon
You
is
can feel it, man. You can feel it, man.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Damn.
Take balm for her pain. If she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country.
Yeah.
Judgment reacheth unto the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
So there's literally nothing that this country or government can possibly do to bring America back to a state of advantage.
Mm.
So it's literally the end for this place, man. Like, that's what the scripture's going into. There's no healing. Healing meaning to be whole again. There's no being whole again. There's no reaching to a former glory or a state of strength or a state of advantage. There's nothing that they're going to be able to claim, because through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, they are being made weak in all aspects, economically, militarily, right? Financially, socially. Everything is on a decline for this place. In every sense, this place is on a decline. There's no healing here for this. There's no healing for this place here. Excuse me. So we are at the time of the end, and you can clearly actually see this being fulfilled right now. Like, we didn't get it yet, but even in the book of Ecclesiastes, the music is brought to an all-time low. There's no work for Egypt. People are not satisfied with what they even have, and a little bit of liberty that you might experience. People are completely unsatisfied. People want out of this country. They understand that the real freedom is outside of America. It's not in America. This place is absolutely fucking through, man.
Yep.
In every aspect.
Yep.
Read that last part one more time, Abu Kushar, brother. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 51 verse 8. It says, no, 51 verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
But she is not healed, right? Like, all these promises being made and all this idea of what's going to become financial security for America, it's not there, man. It's not there. If it would have been, would have already come to fruition. But this country has been time after time after time after time in a state of decline where it's nothing but worse and worse and worse. How do we know that? Because when you take the same money that we have today, we can see that the purchasing power is not nearly the same. And it's been that way for how many years? We're at a point where everything is just completely unraveling, completely falling apart in every way. There's no way where you can take money that you made 10, 15, 20 years ago and make it last the same way that it would have now.
Mm-hmm.
You take that same amount of money and it's gone, and you have less and less and less. And if we could, we would have healed Babylon, but Babylon is not healed. There's nothing that you could do for this place to save it. Don't care if Trump comes in and signs a different set of policies to economically or strategically try to enact certain things to put people in a state of advantage. Just remember, when he did those stimulus packages, everything came at a cost, and it came at the cost of the American people. They're not talking about the real issues. They're not talking about the problems that actually exist. They're not discussing how the Federal Reserve is responsible for why the American people are in the state that they are. They're not talking about the creature on Jekyll Island. They're not talking about the gold that was removed from the American dollar, right? They're not talking about these things. They're not talking about 1913. They're not talking about 1971 with the Bretton Woods and the Gold Act and all of that. They're not talking about any of those things.
Yep. And how everything is a lie.
And how everything is a lie. And how everything was directly set up for this place to ultimately fall so that they can implement that new world order ultimately
Yep.
and institute a digital world order where everything was going to be governed by a sea hip.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's like if I can say, ultimately, that Esau thinks, these global elites think that when they implement that C hip, that allows his kingdom to run forever. You know what I mean? But what he don't realize is that exact prophecy that he's trying to attain is exactly what's going to be his detriment and what's going to be his demise. Trying to implement that final prophecy, being micro C hip, is going to be what actually brings the destruction. But he really thinks that once that's fully implemented, his kingdom will continue on forever. Like that's the final in its entirety, keeping and then maintain a population of 500 million. Right, that's another thing that he needs to do to make sure that he can maintain his kingdom forever, quote unquote. But that's listen, that's not on the Lord's timetable, man. There's going to be only a time that Esau going to do, and then the Lord going to bring his destruction.
That's right. Excuse me. What other precepts do we got?
We still got a little more on this.
All right, go ahead.
There's forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven.
Damn.
And lifted up even to the skies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, America is at a point where the Heavenly Father, through his Son, is going to visit this place. And that's what we see, because it's all leading to that ultimate judgment of that second death. So everything is playing out accordingly to lead up to that ultimate destruction. Everything is leading up to the C hip. The C hip leads us into World War III. World War III leads us up into what? The salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel.
Yep.
And ultimately that pure fire that's going to rain down from YAHAWASHI and the chariot simultaneously.
Yep.
That's what we're seeing. It's a simultaneous effect. But things are building, and we see it unfolding right before our very eyes. A lot of people, they can't afford certain things, and it's only going to get worse. And that all leads us really into the hour of temptation. Like when people can't, because people are already in a state where they can't afford certain things, expenses, groceries, utilities. What happens when, that unaffordability increases? Because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a rise on people not being able to afford certain things. And all it's going to take is a simple situation where nobody can really afford certain things. If we experience an attack, that could cause it, right? If people, because most Americans, just to put it in perspective, most Americans, they can't even afford an outstanding expense from their regular paycheck. It's estimated 56% cannot afford an outstanding expense. If something happens to the average American who's not had an ability to save, which is, again, more than half of Americans today, if something happens, they're not going to be able to afford it, which means that they have to budget for it, which means that they're going to have to literally cut out, rent or some other expense to be able to afford whatever circumstance may arise. So if a tragedy happens or something delays them from being able to be paid, the fucking people are screwed, man.
Yep. I got a precept.
God.
If I may.
Yeah. Like there's so many different scenarios that could play out. We can be under attack, and then that might put people in a vulnerable place where they just have to comply. Right? Or certain people might, and like we've already seen where things have happened in isolation. It's like certain things that happen to other people have not happened to necessarily the general populace. But because it happened to a certain group of people, that certain group of people have had to make adjustments. So we're going to see how they actually, roll this thing out. But it doesn't take much for people to actually jump on board. All it takes is the idea of scarcity to cause people to comply. We've seen it with the scandemic, where people were at a potential loss of job, people were potentially at loss of promotion, people were at loss of their livelihood, and all of that accumulated to where they would actually take an experimental drug that would later be found out to have all these harmful effects. So this is what's actually being pushed throughout the new year. We've seen it this whole time where all of these experimentations are being done for a forerunner for what will ultimately become the C hit. And right now, everything's built on convenience. Like we see that if you, enroll in certain programs and you do this particular thing, you have an advantage. But when it's became a standard, which is what they're moving towards, and everybody's going to be expected to take it, and you don't have no livelihood, you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, you don't know if you're going to secure your job, you don't know if there's a security for your family, you don't know if you're going to keep your home, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think people are going to react with all those unsureties? They're going to obviously take the chip. It's not going to be that much of a choice. Go ahead, Slovakia.
Yeah, there's so much to get, so much to unpack for what you just said. I'm gonna get this right here. This is Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations.
Damn.
With perplexity, the sea and the waves thereof roaring. And you look up this word perplexity, right? Because like the brothers going into the distress of nations, man. These people want to be willingly take the chip because they not going to know what the hell to do. They're not grounded with faith. They believe in the damn, especially the 2/3, man. They are completely bugged the hell out. If you thinking Trump want to save America, you are out of your damn mind, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the scriptures say, we are yet at this day in captivity and we're still subject to payments.
Yep.
And what the hell you think you still subject to payment, you still in debt. It's like you're not going nowhere in America. It's over. But Jake is always the last one to know. And Satan is trying to fuck with me right now. Hold on. Satan is doing his thing right now. Bear with me.
Oh, good. I mean, the brother made some excellent points because at the end of the day, most of our people are going to be affected by this. This is going to be the ultimate fate of the 2/3. They didn't take heed to the word. They didn't take heed to the message. And so, they're going to fall by the temptation that's going to be the RFID microchip to be able to, live in this society as they unravel it in that time. That's going to be the new standard. So, we understand that, we are not interested in complying with the new ways that Esau is going to implement. We want to see this kingdom fall. So, whoever may be a martyr, so be it to the spirit, but we're not going to accept no damn mark. We're not going to accept no fucking shit, man. Like, excuse my French, but we're not going to be about it, man. At the end of the day, we already counted our life a loss and everything in it a loss. So there's no part of us that's going to compromise that. Lord's will, that spirit is on us, to keep our integrity. But yeah, we're not going to compromise. You know, we're not interested in trying to be a part of this system. We're not interested in being a part of this society. This society can go fuck itself, as far as I'm concerned, you know, and everybody going to celebrate this new year. If I have a drink tonight, it's going to be to this motherfucker's downfall.
That's right.
Yep.
You know, the hell with this goddamn place, man.
Yeah, it's like, and it's for the word perplexity. This is the etymology of it. It's a noun: bewilderment, doubt, uncertainty, confusion. Yeah, so these people they done, man. You know, all this the pride they got, the scriptures say that the Lord's gonna take that away. They're gonna be mourning, they're gonna be in languish, you know. They're not gonna know what to do, man. You know, like the scriptures say, it's gonna be a famine of the word, and they're gonna be trying to look for the truth in that day. You know, the real precious jewels, man, or stone, or gold, or resource. It's gonna be the truth. It's gonna come down who has the truth or not.
Right. Right.
It's like the Lord said, salvation is of the Jews, man. You know not what you worship. You know.
Yep. It says knowledge and wisdom. Sorry.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say it says knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Like that's where the stability. That's where we're gonna have our rest, or you know, our defense is gonna be our knowledge and wisdom through the scriptures and through YAHAWASHI Ma Ahbadyam.
That's right. And these people are gonna be begging for the truth, man.
Yep.
They're gonna be on their knees, and it's just like in the days of Noah, man. When it started raining, that's when they wanted to get right. This is just like the 2/3. It's gonna be too late. You know, we can't wait till that day, man, because it's literally right here. Right
Yeah,
around the
and
corner.
these people, like just like you made a good point, like the days of Noah, like these people, you know, you want to try to reap the benefits of the prophets and the men that's been out there laboring, or been out here telling y'all what the deal is, and now that you finally see the signs, you want to try to get right when the Lord had already closed the doors of salvation or doors of repentance and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, the doors of mercy. Like you can't fucking get with it now. Like you lost that opportunity. And just like at the time of Noah, you want to get on the ark. Meanwhile, Noah's been doing that work, that hard labor, that entire time building that ark. You know what I mean? And they want to scoff at him. Now you're trying to reap the benefit of the labor he put in. Like hell no. Y'all want to live in your pleasures, you're gonna die in your pleasures.
Shit. That's right. That's right, man. That's right. If I can get something else.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything?
Nah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap it up soon, Lord's will and the spirit. We're gonna wrap it up.
Kind of real quick. This is Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Just like the brother mentioned, your pleasures, man. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools, or the 2/3, hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. By what? His spirits, the prophets. You know, through his prophets. It says, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So you rejected the Lord. Guess what? He gonna laugh at you. He gonna mock you. You know, he's not just like they tell the white man gonna say everybody. That's bullshit, man. The Lord said he's gonna mock you, man. These people are just, if I just believe in this and that. That's bullshit, man. It says faith without works is dead, man. Then you don't even know what the hell you believe in. Like I mentioned before, salvation is of the Jews or the 12 tribes of Israel, man.
Right.
You don't have nothing. You don't have no foundation. You still believe to this damn day. It's 2025. Motherfuckers still believe Cesare Borgia is God or Christ.
That's crazy.
That's madness, man. Especially Latinos, man. The so-called Latinos, man. They are bugged out, man.
Yep.
Now Trump, he replaced Cesare Borgia, man. They say he's the next. He's the closest thing to God. An Ephraimite woman said that, man.
That's crazy.
Ephraimite woman said Trump is the closest thing to God. Forgot about the Lord. They didn't even say Cesare. They said Trump. You know, our people are going, man. So they going to get that foot up their ass, man. You know, that hardcore judgment, that brutality, man.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, we know that the Edomites is the sword of the Lord, and it's primarily directed at our people. you know, and rightfully so for their insubordinates and for their lack of belief. So,
yep.
Was that it on that?
Yeah, I can stop right there.
All right, Khan. This is I'm gonna end on this, unless of course a brother has another precept. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, it's a Sirach 39:1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies." So, you know, this is one of my favorite precepts. We're gonna continue to occupy ourselves in the prophecies, and you know, we're calculating everything that is to come. I mean, we see that's, you know, we see the buildup of 2024 coming to 2025. So we have obviously an expectation for 2025. You know, we're gonna see what the Elder Apostle Tahar coins this year. But we know that the time is very, very, very short. As a matter of fact, actually, I don't think that we read that yet. Get Matthew 24 and 22. So we know the time is short. I mean, we see the you know, Third World War brewing. We see all of the technology when it comes to the chip being instrumented in different ways, where they're definitely going to mandate it. Brothers are having dreams on it. We see where AI is really taking precedence to the point where they're saying that all of the generation born 2025 and up is going to be called Generation Beta because they're going to be so acclimated to AI.
Oh, so like it looks like it's froze a little bit.
Yeah.
The body really froze a little bit.
Fucking Satan.
All of those things. Well, they're saying that 2025 is going to be all based around, you know, these different technologies and mainly, you know, artificial intelligence, where that's going to be the new norm. That's going to be the new standard. People are going to be growing up with, you know, these different technologies. And so we can kind of see the projection of where Esau wants to go with everything. And we know that it's ultimately a fucking prison for Israel. You know, it's ultimately a form of ultimate control, excuse me. You know, and Esau is not going to implement all that he thinks that he's going to do. We know that according to prophecy, you know, it's going to rain upon him while he's eating. So yeah, while he might fulfill certain things, it's not going to be to its full fruition. And you know, we look into the downfall of this place, and Lord's will, you know, hopefully that happens in 2025. You know, that's our faith, that's our hope, that's our belief. You know, that's our prayers. And you know, we're just looking for more prophecy to be fulfilled. We're going to monitor things through the Spirit, and of course filter things, and hopefully through the Spirit bring y'all Akim and, you know, the few Aquath that are listening and learning the you know, the truth of the matter through the Spirit. You know, we're gonna filter through these things and bring the edification, Lord's will. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to give the Most High any rest until it's time. So, you know, that's my kind of closing statement to the Spirit. If anybody has anything to add.
You said you wanted Matthew 20, 24 and 22.
I do. And like I said, if in case any brothers has anything to add, we can just go ahead and finish with that precept.
Con.
Okay, go ahead.
Matthew 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
And we've seen a significant shortening of the time. Like, you know, we understand like weeks have virtually turned into days, right? And like months have been reduced to but a few weeks. You know, it's not it don't even feel like a 4-week period makes up a month. It's like it's less and less and less. You know, here we are, we're already in 2025.
Yep.
You know, so we see that prophecy being fulfilled, expected to be fulfilled even more. as things come to pass. So, you know, that's what we're looking forward to. That's what we're praying for. And, you know, Lord's will, we stay, you know, in the faith. The Lord keeps us, we endure, and we'll be delivered out of that destruction. And, you know, we'll hopefully be able to see the downfall of our enemies. So, you know, if anybody has anything else, all right. All right. We want to give, of course, all honor, glory, and praise unto
Yahawah,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Ba'ashem, Rahawadash.
Dash.
Of course, double honors unto our elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to all the hopeful elect.
Shalom.
Yep. Shalom.
Shalom.